considered myself having a lot of problems back then, and to come to your ceremony was showing me the other side, like, okay, there is something very positive in your life that you can achieve.
And I was like, dude, I'm never doing that. Like, I was like, that sounds like too much suffering for me.
I am trying to figure out the absolute reality of existence.
All my life I felt like I need something different than the just standard life.
But I started to have like a lot of health problems and also mental health problems, like pretty serious.
At some point I was so desperate that I was not seeing anything positive in life.
I came from a quite dark background, so it was really necessary for me to meet the light.
I love your ceremonies, I love ayahuasca, and it just changed my life totally.
It had destroyed absolutely every concept my mind has ever known, and I could just rebuild myself only with the truth.
Yeah, I learned, everybody is suffering and to stop running away from it.
Deepening the understanding of the bliss of this life.
After my first ceremony, I would say my whole life became a meditation.
I'm very glad to be here. Thank you so much.
So Nina, I'm very happy to share these moments with the Swiss family here in the mountains. I would like to introduce some brothers of our family to other families around the world. And I would like if you can explain us what happened in your life and why did you come to our ceremonies, why did you start the practice of shamanism, the practice of this ayahuasca path?
My first introduction to your work was through my ex-boyfriend. He was been working with you a very long time. And he was just talking about what you're doing and how much healing he was getting from it. So I was always on the path to get better, to heal all my darkness. So I was kind of sure that if I come to your ceremony, that it will help. So I came, and from the first ceremony on, I was convinced that this is kind of my path of healing and getting closer to the truth of life. I considered myself having a lot of problems back then. Maybe you didn't really see, but I came from a quite dark background, so it was really necessary for me to meet the light, I was really into all my dark sides working, because I thought, like, this is reality, I have to face my darkness, and to come to your ceremony was showing me the other side. Like, I had so many blissful ceremonies that were just like showing me, like, okay, there is something very positive in your life that you can achieve. So it was kind of a twist. It was just deepening the understanding of the bliss of this life. So this was, I think, what I was coming to search for. Yeah.
I feel like I had kind of a lovely life before I moved to Switzerland, and something happened where I kind of went deep into a darkness after moving, probably from moving far away from my family. But I started to have like a lot of health problems and also mental health problems, like pretty serious. And I had a friend of my husband's in the past, and she was leading retreats and trying to get us to try it. And I was like, dude, I'm never doing that. Like, I was like, that sounds like too much suffering for me. And I got to a point where I was really desperate, just so dark. And I came, and I learned, everybody is suffering, and to stop running away from it, which I think was a really helpful thing, and also the capacity to connect with other people through this, trying to help each other, because we're all having a hard time most of the time. And it's helped me so much. Like, when I don't come for a long time, I really notice that I change, and I can't see the light as easily. And when I come back, it's like it's on again. Thank you so much for what you do.
And after the practice, you felt an improvement in your health?
Yeah, pretty considerable. I mean, like a lot of stuff I feel like ayahuasca helped me to figure out, you know, like changes that I needed to make in my life. Actually, one of the first ceremonies that I ever came to, you gave a talk to everybody about alcohol. And I didn't drink a lot at that point. I had a very casual, you know, drinking. And yeah, this totally changed my relationship to alcohol, like 100%. And every time I came back, it was kind of a check-in, you know, because I started drinking less and less. And I started getting healthier and healthier. And my body's ability to like kind of heal itself kind of started to kick back in. And I had probably my strongest ceremony the first night here. And I was like, I couldn't believe I could handle it.
But I see a lot of happiness in you and also strength. Yeah. You're brave. I don't know, but nowadays I see a very healthy person.
I'm pretty healthy these days. Yeah, it's pretty great.
I was looking all my life, I felt like I need something different than just standard life. So I tried different practice. I was a raw food eater for a long time. And then it was kind of like everything like good, but something was missing, some extra, like this magic of ayahuasca when you totally in another world and you have these experiences. And when I was looking always for something like this, and then I heard about ayahuasca one time, second time, someone told me, and I thought it's as a sign I have to try it. And I looked at Google, and I found your company, and I'm here. But I love your ceremonies, I love ayahuasca, and it just changed my life totally. I'm looking forward to each ceremony, and I'm very glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I met you a little bit over 5 years ago for my first ceremony, and I was so in need of it, and I think it just came at exactly the right moment and the right circumstances. Why did I look for a ceremony? Since the day I can remember myself, I don't know, maybe 4 years old, could be even earlier, I had a question that nobody could answer. I was getting answers, but nothing was satisfying. And the more this question was becoming a real issue in my life, because I was just realizing the most fundamental thing or absolute thing that I need to know. I am surrounded with a world where nobody can give me this answer, while they seem to have the answer. They are convinced. But I was 100% sure none of these answers were correct. None of them was telling the absolute truth. And with time, this has transformed into a living hell for me. My first 33, 34 years, I think really, I mean, I had a lot of happy moments, a lot of things, but the permanent thing that was always with me is really hell. I am trying to figure out the absolute reality of existence. At some point I was so desperate that I was not seeing anything positive in life. It had become really a depression. And then by chance I found an advertisement for your retreat on Facebook. And since the first ceremony, I think I can say that my life had changed. The first ceremony, I realized something about how I was always hurting myself, something about the way I was living my life that was bad for me, and I was seeing it as a necessary thing, and it helped me to realize this. And then a few ceremonies later, I had, I think, my real breakthrough when I believe I almost died, and I was a mess, and you helped me, carried me outside, and
I
I was a cadaver vomiting on you.
I remember.
Yeah. And there I could just, I mean, Natem just destroyed during this night. It had destroyed absolutely every concept my mind has ever known. Everything was destroyed. And I could just rebuild myself only with the truth. The things, everything crumbled, nothing, all concepts have disappeared in this night. I am so grateful that it happened, even that it happened this way and in this pain. But I mean, I have absolutely no words to describe this feeling, but it's just pure bliss and union that I really cannot describe with words. I think, Ruymán, you know what it is. I cannot really say it with words. I hope that really everybody could have the chance or the opportunity to get in touch with the medicine in the proper way, to help them for whatever they are seeking or trying to understand. Anyone who is really serious and ready to change, ready to find answers, or just would like to improve maybe this world or their just little own world, I think there is nothing better than a ceremony with you.
You had a real motivation from the very beginning. You were looking for the truth, for the spirit, right? For the answers.
Yeah.
Not everybody's coming from that point. And you are very young, and you were very young. It's quite surprising for me, and I think that's the very best beginning point.
With Natem, I came to realize and I came to understand how I can listen more to people and look really deep into them, and then I realized that indeed, probably they have never asked themselves these kinds of questions, and that's why they did not feel this burning that I was going through.
The first time I met this union with the Great Spirit, with Arutam, after the months and after the practice and calming down and balancing myself, I was able to meditate, to close my eyes and reach that space of peace and union again. Is more noticeable in your life this space of union and peace?
Yeah, definitely. I have never meditated before, and I think until in my mid-20s, I had never heard of the word meditation, to be honest. And after my first ceremony, I would say my whole life became a meditation, while without even taking the time to do it as people do it, sit down and say, okay, now I'm meditating. I mean, it just woke up in me. I am meditating while walking, while driving, and always paying attention. While washing the dishes. I mean, really, I was doing something, but at the same time, I am not the one doing it. I am seeing and understanding why I am doing these things, why things are going this way, etc. And really, I would say, my whole life became meditation. And this union, I could have reached it many times without meditation. Sometimes I had few nights that I spent and that they were as powerful as maybe the most powerful ceremony I had here. And few times, like I said, maybe just walking, being quiet, and then I am wide awake, and then I can feel this bliss of the moment of you realize this union.
Beautiful.
But to keep it 100%, this I still don't do it. I have to be honest. Maybe we are not meant to keep it 100% of the time, but these ceremonies are a very beautiful reminder. Anytime we feel the need to reconfirm to ourselves that what we feel is really the truth and not what we see maybe outside in the world.